are we today? Welcome back into the greenhouse. If you haven't been here already, I am Sam. I am your crazy plant collector in Melbourne. And today is a chill video. So kick up your feet, grab some coffee. I got my chai latte. Play this in the background while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, while you're doing your things, staying at home, of course. So I had a plan to do an educational video, but that went astray because there's a lot of planning when it comes to my educational videos. I don't have the, what would you call it, inspiration to do the educational videos at the moment because they're just not as fun. Like, I'm just going to be real with you guys. It's just that there's a lot of thought in it and I have to be careful with what I say in case it's wrong. And yeah, additional to that, I have the biggest ulcer in my mouth because I get too excited with food and then I bite my lip. So if I sound funny, that is the reason why. And on the weekend, I was going to propagate some of my plants and then I thought to myself, why don't I film it that instead? So this is what we're doing today. I additionally asked some of you on my Instagram, on my IG, just some questions that I can do along the way. So thank you to all the people that have sent me through those questions. So what am I doing today? I will be propagating this large thing. So this is my beautiful Brandtianum, Philodendron Brandtianum, and she has grown so quickly. This I originally got as a 2-node cutting from my friend Kai Yi and Paulson, which I've mentioned before, and it has grown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves in my care, and I feel like it has been only maybe like 3 months. So I'm just going to be cutting this baby up. I'm thinking maybe up until here. So I'll have about 4 cuttings or 4 nodes. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them. I probably will just keep them for myself. Maybe I'll sell some, maybe I'll trade some, we'll find out. But today is the 31st of August. It is the last day of winter, which means propagating season is upon us. So that's plant number 1. I'm also going to be chopping up this bad boy again. This is my Philodendron Cream Splash. And look at this leaf. It is huge, but it is the weirdest leaf I have ever seen. It is so crumply and munted. It's got 2 new growth points, so I'm planning to cut those off. And there's some growth points just along here as well. So after I cut it, hopefully they will take off. So cutting this one again because I show no mercy. What I will also be doing is I'll be doing the butterfly propagation method with these guys right here. So these ones have been sitting pretty much all of winter in water and hasn't really done much. So yeah, I'm going to be trying the butterfly method that I saw on who was it? It was Harley G is the YouTube, and we'll see how we go. I may as well start off with some questions. And there's actually been a lot more questions than I thought, so thank you guys so much. So I'll start off with my bae, Darcy from Jungle Variegata, and if you guys don't follow him, you totally should. He's got the most stunning plants, especially if you like variegated things. And his question is, what are you doing to cope with the isolation from COVID? Honestly, I'm coping okay with COVID. Do not get me wrong, it is quite difficult, especially for people in Victoria who are currently in stage 4 of lockdown. The main things that I say is keeping in contact with my family, my friends via like video calls or Zooms, spending some time with my doggos, tending to the plants. The plants keep me busy. One of my coping mechanisms is trying to find the positives out of all of it. So all the things that I listed above are definitely something that I always try to remind myself, as well as doing some like dance parties in the plant room, putting up the music volume, just trying to enjoy slowing down with life. And I think that that's really important. And also making a bucket list for yourself. I know that sounds stupid, but doing a bucket list for indoors. One of them for me is getting this YouTube channel off the ground. So I've been focusing on that as well, giving some time to reflect during this time. Let's grab this big boy. Hello. And I'm just going to grab my knife. We'll sterilize her as always. I think I might actually pop you guys on the humidifier because that way you can see everything that's going on. I mean, that's a little bit better. Not much, but you'll be able to see some of it. Pretty much. This is her in all of her beauty. Do I wish that she would grow big and tall? Absolutely, but I'm also in this phase of wanting to propagate all of my plants. So chopping her up, let's go. So I think I want to cut her until about here. So boom, baby. And I'm actually going to separate these guys because they've got some beautiful aerial roots that are active, so they're not fully dried out, which is very, very good. Oh, look how cute she looks. So little. Now, I just wonder how long that's actually going to take for that plant to get to that size again. So I'll keep you guys updated because I always find that quite fascinating. And I should let you guys know that cutting up your plants is one, the best way to multiply your plants, and two, it actually promotes growth for the mother plant. I'm just going to cut these nodes. I might actually leave the top part with the 2 leaves, so I'll have 3 cuttings all together. So cutting this one just here. Is this unsafe? Yes, yes it is. Woo! Okay, 1, 2. Oh, that was so easy. Okay, so that's the tip cutting just there. We've got a node just here and another one there. So now I have 3 additional plants, and I'll show you guys what I'll be doing with these. So I've got little containers that I put propagations in. So un momento. These little plastic containers here for seedlings. This actually came with one of the propagating boxes that I got a few months back. So there's a few there, but I'm just going to cut up some more trays like this, and they were about, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were like 6 by 5, I think. So yeah, I've used quite a lot. While I cut this, how have you guys been doing? I know that life has been a bit hectic recently, but what have you guys been up to, and what have you guys been doing during these crazy times? Have you been working a lot? Have you been doing a lot of self-reflection, a lot of like self-work? I would really love to know how you're all doing. Please know that my inbox on my Instagram is always open if you need it. I try to stay as positive as possible in life in general, but also on that page, on that Instagram. We already get the news, we already get the stats, and I think staying positive, not ignoring it, but trying to see the positives in life is always the better option. I've got a few in there. I've just stacked them up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some wet sphagnum and pop them all in here. So we've got 3 in here. And what I'm also going to do, because the sphagnum that I buy normally is quite long, and the roots for the Brantianum are quite thin. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to break it up, just so that when I take it out of the sphagnum in a couple of weeks' time, won't give me too much grief. So all 3 are all set. What I'm going to do is let these guys callus for maybe like an hour before I put them in. So I'll move on to the other plants that I want to chop up, and then I'll put these guys in their little containers, and also give them some root roids as well. They're so cute. Sippy sippy. I should do more questions, shouldn't I? I'm getting too carried away with chopping up my plants. So I have my girl Indy from Planted by Indy, and her question is, who's the ultimate diva in your collection? By far, it has to be my green velvet, whom you guys have seen before, and she is just always droopy. She's such a diva, even though her roots are fine. I fertilize her every so often, and yet she's living her best life, and yet she still droops. I'll show you. This is my girl. She droopy as hell. But look at that leaf. Oh my god, so beautiful. She has a new leaf just there, but it is freaking tiny, and that is, don't be alarmed, that was an old flower. So yeah, that looks a bit gross. Anyway, this is my biggest diva because she is never happy. Moving on, we do have my beautiful cream splash, and it looks like the aerial roots that I was actually propagating through the moss at the top has actually dried out, which is such a bummer. Things happen. I'm just going to give it the chop anyway. Boom, baby. So it has a huge green leaf here, which is going to be really good so that the plant actually survives. We've got a tip cutting just there, and this beautiful creamy leaf just there as well. So we've got some aerial roots just here, and some freshies over here. So hopefully it'll be okay. Let you callus over. So another thing that has been really exciting that I did a few days ago is I've propagated some of my Ilsomanii. These are the 2 Ilsomanii that I received, I believe, about 3 weeks ago. They have settled in so great, and they honestly keep producing pups. Thought to myself that it was a little bit young, that the plants may not like it, but honestly, as soon as I cut those pups off, these guys have gone crazy. The little bebes have taken off as well, so they've gotten heaps of roots and new growth has come as well. I keep them in my old terrarium. You guys have seen this before from Kmart, and they are currently doing really well. So this one here has a new leaf coming, and that is one of the pups. Just there, and that leaf, oh my gosh, so cute. So that one there, another one just here. So they're very, very little, very, very young, but they do have roots growing and there are no leaves dying off. So I'm very, very happy about that. I'm keeping them in super high humidity and airing them out once a day. And yeah, they're loving their little life in this little jar. So that's another exciting propagation that I have done. One of my favorite humans, Kate from Kate and Finn versus Plant. Why are you so cute, boo? It's because I love you. If you guys are looking for a new Aussie planty Instagram to look to, definitely go to Kate and Finn's versus Plants, because she has the most epic plants and she also is part of the Hydro Church community. So if you're ever thinking about Hydro, take a look at her. She's phenomenal lady. Love you, Kate. Chlorophyll Will, my man, your question is, when are you getting more syngoniums? I am very, very keen on getting more syngoniums because I'm currently obsessed with them, but I'm also trying to be a good girl and not spend too much. So hopefully sometime in the growing season I will be getting another one. I'm looking for a Syngonium panda, but I'm also not in a rush. Celine from My Beautiful Plants versus Celine, what's your favorite thing about the plant community? Love you, Sam. My favorite thing is that I can't stress enough that when it comes down to it, plant people care, and it's not just about caring about humans, it's actually caring about other organisms and nature. So my favorite thing is the fact that we can chat, that we can swap plants, that we can have all of these like planty messages and friends. That's my favorite thing. Making connections with people that you wouldn't normally make connections with, whether that's people in your area that's local, or even, so I know that I have friends in Sydney, in Queensland, which is so cool, and even internationally, which blows my mind to think that we can connect that far with our love for plants. And I've got Waddle Around Earth. Are you thinking of building another greenhouse? I am so tempted to build another greenhouse. Know that it is very excessive since I have plenty of space if I were to move things around. So really I'm just being lazy and just saying I should just grab another greenhouse. Steph from the Aroid House, so she's written, not a question, but I just want to say how much I love your videos and your content. Steph, I adore you and your content. If you are an anthurium lover, I'm telling you, you need to go see Steph's page. I'll put her little tag up on the screen. Steph is beautiful and her plants are insanely beautiful. So many anthuriums. I'm very, very jealous. And lastly, what I'm going to be doing for my propagation is chopping up these guys and doing the butterfly method. Now for this one, I feel like scissors is the way to go. So some of them have actually taken off because it has been 3 months and it's got a little bit of roots. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably keep those and chuck them in there anyway. We've got some of the huge rhizomes, I think. I'm not really sure what they're called, but we're just gonna stick them in sphagnum and see how they go. What I've done is I popped a thin layer of sphagnum in a little takeaway container box, and what I'm going to do, I believe, is just put the little butterflies there. And what's supposed to happen is that they make these rhizomes, and I believe that's literally all I have to do. And that is all she wrote. So I'm going to do an update with all of these cuttings and showing you guys what has been happening, how they're progressing, if this is a success or not in a couple of months' time, or even a few weeks, because it is spring after all. But there you have my variegated string of hearts, and hopefully that the next time this will be full of chain of hearts. And I do have my good old friend Dan from Rooting for Nodes, and he says, where, when and why did your obsession with plants start? So I think the why would be because of my best friend Juliet. I'd also give it to my nan because she was the one that gave me my first succulent that I managed to kill. And then I just remember one time after work being in the city, and I went to Plant Runner and I found this beautiful plant, and I thought to myself, I gotta take it home with me. And from there, it literally just escalated to a greenhouse in Melbourne. And they're pretty much done. I've got my 3 little babies here. Also my cream splash here. I tried to lie it down so that it could have as many aerial roots exposed into the sphagnum. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna wrap up this video here. Thank you guys so much for chilling out with me in the greenhouse. I know it was a short one, but I just wanted it to be short, simple, hang out with me, ask me some questions. I'll probably do more videos like this very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the greenhouse next week for next week's video. Bye guys! Mwah!